Carlton
and Collingwood.
Collingwood. Then there's like
no one. I don't know who's in fourth.
a pack of 10 teams.
Yeah, it's I don't know. The top clear, the bottom clear, everything in between. It's just like
You don't know what. You don't know who it's going to be.
It's no man's land.
You don't know who it's going to be.
Anyway, we're on.
Are we?
Oh,
Yeah, started it.
I was going to get one of Jules's cakes.
No, we'll finish that later. They're fucking good. Good evening. How are we?
You've seen
we
us.
have
We've seen
literally,
each other
we have
every
literally
day.
been together every
The
day
whole
this
weekend.
weekend. Yeah. I'm just gonna.
People are excited in the chat.
are they?
They're buzzing.
Buzzing.
Are they? Oh, yeah, there's a few. Gav, Whelan, he's in there. Lou Felino, Hunter, some of the old timers, not old timers, but some of
Familiar
the OGs. That's it. Yeah, been here from day one. All right, let's get the show on the road.
1, 2, 3, 4.
That's our moment. We finally, as a generation, we can hang our hat on a genuine moment.
Honestly, we are a force because of the intensity that we play at is just next level.
We want to be here. We want to impact finals. And it's one thing of obviously saying it, but we just lived it.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 132, the Almost Blues Brothers podcast, part of the Blue Broad Media Network and proudly powered in 2024 by Image Online. They do jingles, voiceovers, obviously the podcast studio, live calling. So if you need any of that for your business, Image Online in Abbotsford here, they'll sort you out. Big night, boys. Big night.
Exciting night.
Well, it's calm. I'm really calm. Anyway, before we get into the footy, we said off the top, we've been together all weekend. Jules, you want to tell everyone about our weekend? There's only one of us that needs to do it tonight.
Well, I don't want to discuss everything like in great detail because I reckon I'd be here. Well, we'd be here for quite a while. But yesterday morning, rocked up to my dad's joint and we made what was it? 45 kilos.
45 kilos
of salami. So
how much did we get out of it? 80
something, 84, I think. So obviously they're hanging up in the garage at the moment as we speak. And in about 4 to 6 weeks, what do you reckon, guys? They'll be
ready with a nice
ready.
piece of cheese.
Yeah.
Bread.
Oh,
Gav Whelan's called out your aggressive jacket tonight, Jules.
I think I'm
to be fair,
I
it's cold.
It is cold.
It is cold.
It
You're
is
in a
cold.
t-shirt.
I know, but I'm used to this studio being hot. And it's been cold the last couple of weeks. I remember to bring a jumper.
Yeah. To be fair, I reckon I'm the one that's packing tonight. So,
hey,
all the cakes.
Yeah, before we go back into the weekend, obviously we'll talk about the salami and we went out last night.
With a
whatnot.
360 feedback.
But can we let's just go back to how this ended last week. We're all good. we're fine.
we all sat in our cars in silence after it.
I did some soul searching during the week. At one point, I went, there's some things got to change. The
He called me
360
up.
feedback was genuinely brutal.
He called me up. He goes, "Am I actually like that?"
The next day I did. I asked, I go, "Did you actually mean some of that?" And he goes, "Yeah, I did."
It's genuine.
So yeah, it's a bit of soul searching during the week. But yes, salami yesterday was unbelievable at your dad's place.
Have you got a photo? Did you put a photo on it?
I don't actually, but I put
Some videos.
I put a video up on Instagram yesterday that everyone would have seen. Yeah, another year. So it flies. Every time salami comes around, I go, fuck, like, because it's the same time every year. It's one of those things that, like, you don't really think about until
It's in
it
the
comes
calendar.
up. And then you're like, that's another year, like, gone. It's nuts.
But
And
this year,
like
hey,
you were
we're-
saying the other day, the time is genuinely flying in my life and in all of our lives at the moment. It's crazy. It's crazy.
We're
Go.
efficient yesterday.
Oh,
We're
we
making
were
it.
very productive.
Well, how productive were we? At one
45 kilos.
It probably slowed down at one point, but we won't go there.
We won't go down as to why.
Why did we slow down? Go on.
Well, the pizzas and who.
Oh, yeah, my mum. No, look, it was all well intended, but wrong timing. My mum brought pizzas when we're halfway through and we're going,
We just wanted to finish it. Oh, the steam
No,
train.
she's beautiful, my mum. And anyway.
Good save.
Yes, so salami. And obviously we had the footy Friday night. You and I went. Dan, you gave it a miss this week. You had work at 3 a.m. on Saturday, so you can make salami.
Yeah, I had to start earlier.
Yeah. And then last night, what did we do, Jules? And why did we do it? First and foremost.
Well, obviously, my best man. So I thought, you know what, let's take his out. So where did we go first? We went to an escape room. It was a mafia
Scene.
themed escape room, and
It was good. It was
yeah,
actually good.
very
Good fun. Yeah.
It's what was it? It's at 168.
168 Burke Street.
Burke Street?
Adventure Rooms.
Yeah, so it's actually not on Burke Street. It's on the corner where the Macca's is, but it's actually on. Is it Russell?
Yeah, it's like Russell.
I think it's Russell.
Yeah. Hakata Gensuke, the
Yeah, that's it.
ramen joint.
Highly
Yeah,
recommend
if you
it.
see a line to the ramen joint, it's in the front
Right
of that,
there,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. So
But it was good.
Yeah, it was a good night.
It's gonna be part of your not happy.
We
Dan,
had
right?
We're not happy,
yeah,
Dan.
it will
will-
be. Oh, actually, you know what? I won't communicate that.
Don't mention it.
Yeah, I won't mention
No,
it
no,
now.
Dan's gonna go tee
Yeah,
off on
'cause-
him.
yeah.
It impacted how we finished. This.
Well, we say that, but I don't think so.
I think it actually helped.
we did not finish the room, and they gave us an extra 15 minutes.
Do you know what the thing is as well? I was speaking to Belen about it last night when I got home, and like obviously reflecting on it, it's actually like an escape room for 6 to 8 people. So obviously numbers do help.
Okay.
I reckon.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
that makes
so-
us feel better.
Yeah,
because
so-
there was a lot. Like there was a
there's
lot to get
to
through.
it. There was a lot to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot to it, and there was some things that are probably a bit confusing because you sort of got something, but you didn't need it until like another couple of steps as well.
Well, you needed 2 or 3 people in different rooms.
You did.
Yeah.
Anyway,
at
we
some
won't
stage.
spoil it. It's a good room. If you're looking for an escape room, go to Adventure Rooms. It's
Yeah.
it's good.
So that was good. And then we headed off to Antara 128, which is a restaurant on Exhibition.
Mhm.
And very good food. Boys.
Joe worked out what half a dozen was. Joe, for context, Joe asked the
Right,
waitress.
you tell your version, and then I'll tell you what actually happened.
well, you're always
Go
going to
on.
butt in anyway, like
Go on.
360 feedback. So,
Go on.
Joe asked the waitress how many, because we want oysters, didn't we? So Joe asked how many in half a dozen.
No, I didn't say that at all.
That was the exact words.
No,
that
it
came
They
out.
were
wasn't.
the words.
You're lying.
They
They
So-
were the words.
so you-
and she
You're
even
both
laughed
lying.
in your
So
face.
you're both lying. You're both lying. You said, "Let's get some oysters."
Yeah, but how
No,
did
no.
she answer?
no.
6. She
So
said
you
6.
said-
she goes, 6?
No. You said, "Let's get some oysters." I go, "Yeah." She came over. I go, "How much is half a dozen?" And she looked at me and she goes, "Well, it's 6." I go, "Yeah." No shit. How much does it
Whichever way
cost?
you say it,
How much
it's
does it cost?
stupid.
How much does it cost is what I meant. Fuck you. I'm
You
fucking.
missed out a very key word in there. Cost.
Yeah, all right, but whatever.
She purposely didn't come back to our table.
She
because
actually did
laughing
that.
every all that much.
Yeah, she didn't. Yeah, she didn't.
Anyway, it was miscommunication, but whatever.
But very good food. That
Very
day.
good.
Yeah,
very
very,
good.
very good food.
Yeah.
The bread there was a joke.
And all
I'm
thanks-
so happy we ordered that bread.
all,
yeah.
all courtesy of Jules
Yeah.
for us. Apparently, it was good.
You're welcome, boys.
And then after that, to finish off,
We went to her bar and had a bit of a.
And
Yeah, we got our
music room.
feet moving
Yeah.
a little
the
bit.
music
Yeah, a
room there
little
was
bit.
good. It was
a good
good.
night. It was a good night.
But yeah, it was a very good weekend. Today, I didn't do much. Just play golf. Wish I didn't. Played with some absolute dead shits in my group.
Did you play
Proper.
with Did you play with Faison?
No, I'm a gun. I'm a gun.
He refuses to play still because he wants to make sure that when the first time we play, he beats me.
I'm
So I
off
can
scratch.
never ever
Do you
beat
know
him.
what?
No,
We
no,
should
no.
actually do it. Get the GoPro.
Yeah, we'll do it.
I'll video
Off
it.
season. Yeah, off season.
Yeah, in the off season. And I'll referee.
And to
Joke-
make it fair, I'll do match play, which is hole for hole, not stroke play.
What do you mean?
As in, like, whoever wins the hole gets a point.
I don't need advantages. I'm fine.
Nah, I reckon you do.
I'm fine.
I've got you
Like,
by about 20.
I'm telling you, I'm not. I'm actually very good.
Oh. We have this discussion every
How long does it
fucking
take
week.
to get through 9?
Today?
2 hours, B.
2
Today
hours?
or regularly?
No, average.
2 hours.
Average.
An hour and a half to 2 hours for 9
For
holes.
9.
Yeah.
And what? 2 to 3 for 18.
Nah, like probably 4 for 18.
4 for
4
18.
hours.
Yeah, because you probably slow down, yeah?
Nah, that's just usually what it takes. 3.5 to 4 hours. But today it took me 3 hours to get through 9 because there were some genuine dead shits in my group. I'm all for people picking up the game of golf, right, and trying to learn and whatnot. But if it's your second time ever playing, just have some self-awareness to go, you know what? I don't need a pre-shot routine. I don't know what I'm doing. Just hit the fucking ball. Like, that's all.
Can I ask
That's
you a
all.
question? At golf courses, is there like a grading system? So when you go into a group,
Yeah, there is. No. There's
No,
not.
that
no,
makes
they don't
sense?
do it
And there
like that.
should be.
yeah,
There should
so
I
be.
actually
you
agree
know,
with that.
yeah.
It should
Yeah.
be like a grading system,
Yeah.
like roughly
If you've only played for
how many
this and that,
strokes,
yeah.
for example. No, but how many strokes it usually takes to go through, I don't know, whatever pars, etc. I don't really know the lingo, but then yeah, so there should be that.
I agree.
You should speak to the golf course
I
you go
agree,
to.
but
Maybe
being-
we can
Change
get-
the way it's
maybe
run.
we can run a bit of a business.
Being a public course, that will never happen. at Yarrabend. Never.
Why not?
They at Yarrabend they also need to just stretch out the tee times by a minute or two so that it's not a car park on the course. It's a genuine.
Yeah, but it's busy there.
It is,
Is
a
that
nice.
your,
very
is that your
busy.
not happy Dan this week?
I'm not. So I take on feedback, and you told me not to get into Dan's segment, so I'm doing it now.
I felt like as if you were warming up to it.
Yeah, no, but I'm not doing it later. That's Dan's.
You're doing it
segment,
now.
that's Yeah,
But you're doing
Fair
it
enough.
now.
Oh, I can't air my grievances.
Oh,
Only Dan.
Not on this show.
Fuck's sake.
Not on this show. Do it outside.
Anyway, we've done that for 10 minutes. We're already 10
Well,
minutes.
you're
in, we
missing one
haven't
more
spoken footy.
thing.
What have I missed? Oh,
We're on baby watch.
we are on
Oh,
proper.
yeah,
so we
massive.
said
We're
it
on
2
massive
weeks
baby
ago.
watch.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, no,
Ticking.
we said it 2 weeks ago. We are
Why is your phone turned off?
we're on actual baby watch for definitely tonight, but it could again be next week. We don't know, but
pre-warning the listeners, if I get this phone call, the episode stops.
it'll be cut transmission. So if it does cut short, you know why? We're all off to the hospital to go help deliver Dan's kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, proper baby watch. All right, without any further ado,
Let's get into it.
all right, match report. Fuck, this is going to be nice to read. Final scores from the MCG on Friday night in front of 75,000 in the end. Carlton 21-12, 138 63-point victors over Geelong 11-9 75. 12 goal kickers for the Blues. Akers, Cowan, De Koning, Hollins, Kennedy, Newman, Walsh, one each. Chincotta with the double again. Mackay and Owies, who we're going to talk about a little bit tonight, with three each. And King Charles finally had the game we all wanted him to have with his first back.
Especially Silvio Cassano.
Oh, don't even
He
get started.
needed to see that one.
The amount of times you mentioned tackles and
Don't even-
Charlie in a sentence on Friday night.
Charlie was
Joke.
dominating the game, but up until the point where he laid his first tackle, Silv didn't get out of his seat for him. Your dad needs a stern word from not. It can't come from us because we've tried to tell him. He needs a stern
What
word
about-
from God at this point because I don't know.
What about your dad can't
So
be
you're saying I
told.
need to talk to him?
Jules, you can't be told. Just off topic, the salami. Obviously, we did it inside on your bench.
Yeah.
Your dad wanted to do it on the plastic table.
I can't.
And we
believe
said
that.
you can't do it on a 1 by 1 meter
Or on
plastic
plastic,
table.
or on plastic
Yeah.
to begin with. Yeah.
And I said to him, and Joe goes, "Go speak to him because maybe he'll listen to you." Do you know what I got? No. He didn't even let me speak. No.
Reminded me of Jules going three, score involvements, three, Jeremy Sharp, three.
He was just locked. Just to start this,
Go.
what an absolute privilege to watch that on Friday night. That performance was our best that I've seen in a lot of years.
Can I just say something quickly? I just got a text from your mum.
Is yours in?
This show.
I already know what it's going to be about.
She said, just remember, Sylv did say the margin was going to be 64.
Yeah,
points,
yeah.
And it was 63. So he got one thing right on the night. Well done, Sylv. Thanks for watching.
Still wrong.
It's still wrong.
Thanks for
Still wrong.
tuning in. No, I'll give it to him. 63, 64. That's pretty good.
It's not rounding it up. You don't round up.
Actually, he was more excited to make sure the margin was 64 than anything else for the rest of the
yeah,
night.
that's true. He was
No,
fixated.
He's all right, Sylv. He's just, I don't know. He's a bit lost sometimes. But we love him. All right, go. Sorry,
No,
continue.
seriously, it was an absolute privilege on Friday night. That the performance that the boys put out was for me like premiership standard.
It was.
That has to be our benchmark.
Yeah, that's complete.
Yeah, it's the most complete I was speaking about with Reese yesterday morning when he came into my house very quickly and just picked a couple of things up, and I basically said to him, that's the most complete performance that I've seen in my adult life. So in the last 10, 12 years or a bit more than that, definitely the best performance that I've seen, without a doubt.
Can I tell you where I could see it, where it was going was just purely through the pressure. The pressure that we'll able to apply from literally the start of the game was unbelievable. It was insane.
Yeah. Well, we had 80 tackles?
80 tackles, 22
Yeah,
inside 50.
But we had 80 tackles, but I think we had 50 something plus possessions in them. So
Yeah.
that just goes to show
Just
that
outworking everywhere.
even with with majority of the ball, we're able to obviously put the amount of pressure that we did on.
But I haven't seen that pressure in any other game. Not like that.
No.
I'll be completely honest.
Yeah.
Not against your Port Adelaide, not against your GWS when we beat them. That pressure for 4 quarters,
As
I
consistent
haven't
as what it
seen.
was.
Yeah.
Well, I've actually got.
Yeah. Not against a good side like
I've
that.
got some pressure rating stats here. It's probably punny calcs, but
No.
it's not.
No.
So first quarter was pressure rating was at 186. I think the AFL average is 180. So we're above 180 for the whole game. 186 in the first quarter for us, 200 for them, 217 in the second, 195 in the third, and then 210 to finish the game in the fourth. So we're basically sitting at around or above 200 for 3/4 of the game,
But
which
I feel
is insane. Like that's just it's relentless. Like you're not letting your opposition breathe, and you could see it. You could see it. The way that we smothered them every time they had ball in hand was ridiculous.
Do you know
Ridiculous.
Do you know what's great to see as well? In the last quarter, ours was 210. I think theirs was 203.
It was
Is that correct?
198 in the last
Or
quarter.
198.
Still high.
198, still very, very high.
yeah, and we went again.
We still, but not even in terms of pressure. We could handle their pressure, even throughout the whole course
Second
of the
quarter,
game.
their pressure rating was 207.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We still outscored them.
and we still outscored them.
Yeah.
But the last quarter, theirs was 198, which isn't bad.
No.
Which isn't bad. It's actually very reasonable. It's higher than the average.
Reasonable, yeah.
We kicked 9 goals.
It's pretty
Yeah.
scary as an opposition team if you see that, because you go, even if we up our intensity, they're just going to come back harder. That's basically what those stats say. Is regardless of how hard Geelong worked off the ball, with the ball, whatever it was throughout the night, we'll just go one better. It's crazy. This is what I'm not saying that we are going to win the flag. I like to milk it most weeks and get up and about it, but that sort of profile is
That's
what
the
premiership
identity.
sides are based on. Is that at its core?
That's the identity.
And we're
that
seeing
you
it
wanna
every
show.
week, and we trust it now every week that we're going to see it. You know what I mean? It's not like it's not like we go into a game thinking, "Oh, which Carlton are we going to get today?" We know what we're going to get every week from this side. It's unbelievable. It's phenomenal.
I think in terms of balance, and like we said before, it was obviously our most consistent performance. But I think, I think we'll go into it.
Do you want your little stinger, or just want to go into it?
No, I was going to it.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think obviously, like I said, it was the most consistent, most settled, and most cohesive game in terms of game plan and structure that we've seen. I think that's without question. There's no questions. There's no questions there. And obviously, with the players being settled, and there hasn't been really, much change in the last 3-4 weeks. Yeah, it's been very settled. So in terms of scores. Okay. And this is a premiership profile because the balance is there. And I know we discussed it on the pod a lot. So scores from stoppage, it was 8-3, 53, turnover, 12-7, 79, defensive 50, 9-2, 56, and forward 50, 10-9, 69.
Yep.
Okay. Another thing too, just to keep in mind, was the ability to obviously score off turnover. Geelong was trying to, and this is in regards to the forward 50. Geelong were trying to move the ball out of, because they were never going to win the clearance, especially without
they were depleted there through the middle.
Yeah, especially without a ruck. Obviously, their midfield contested balls aren't really there. Obviously, Selwood's retired. It's probably the weakest part of the ground, without a shadow of a doubt. They tried to move the ball, I think it was 41 times.
I've got the stat here. So 45
times.
31 of their 45 defensive 50 chains were intercepted from us for a return of 8-5-53 on the scoreboard for us.
Yeah. And so when you have a think about in terms of Voss, he's probably thinking, we're going to win at the source without a shadow of a doubt. Then what's going to be their one wood in the game? That's probably it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
they couldn't do it.
That's
they
right.
couldn't.
We stifled them completely. It was. I don't know how we're going to fill out an hour here because there's not much to say when you watch a win like that.
Yeah,
like literally all you can say is that it was the best. For me, that's the best that this team can be.
Yeah.
And if they do that every single week,
we made a Geelong side. We made a Geelong side look like a bottom 8 side. We really did, and I know they were depleted through their rucks, but personally, it was our ability to work a lot harder than what they did and take our opportunities. We looked at the first time we played them early this season. We just didn't take our opportunities.
Yeah, and obviously the personnel helps. McGovern comes in, Saad comes in, Fogarty comes in. Like they're big names.
But I'm watching. You're watching moments like Akers, like a 50-meter gut-busting run to get space to make an option. It's those type of things that change a game.
Mm.
So, and it's also our ability that they kicked 2 or 3 in that third. And then we kicked 3 or 4. Like we really were able to go, all right, that's your best, and here we go. You know?
I think another thing too is I know last time we played them, I think it was round 7, I think, from memory, around about there. I think they kicked 118. I think we kicked 105 or something like that.
It was a high scoring game.
Yeah, it was a high scoring game. We were still able to score.
Yeah,
in that game.
Yeah. And across the season, we've been able to score reasonably well. It's probably been our defensive capability in terms of stopping opposition.
But that's personnel, Jules. That's massive.
Yeah, so
personnel.
huge. Yeah, 100%. But it also comes down to like want, and you could see in terms of the pressure and hunt. And there was a lot of players. I think it was post game. I think it was Kemp. He actually spoke about Voss questioned their defending. Not their ability to defend, but they want to defend after the round 7 game. And he actually questioned it in the actual post-game press conference after round 7. So you obviously question the players. Have a look at their response since.
Yeah, definitely.
No, it's elite. It is through the roof. And like I said, for me, I've got complete trust in what we're going to see week to week.
Yeah.
Like I'm not going into this Richmond game. So in the past, let's go back like a year or two, whatever it is, when we've watched our side put together what we thought was a complete performance, right? And then we've got what should be an easy beat the week after. And we usually come out and either the result is that we lose it somehow or that it's a real close win. Going into Richmond this week, this is going to be party time, like proper.
It should be.
But it will. But it will be. Like that's the amount of trust that I've got with this group. They will come out and they will pummel them for 4 quarters.
This is a 4-quarter performance that we just saw. All right. Voss said it himself that in games, you've seen one element of what we're trying to do be more dominant, for example. But there's never been say, our clearance, our pressure, our turnover. It hasn't all just clicked at once. So for him and what we saw, it did.
Yeah.
In a big way. It was our speed at moving the ball and those handball chains at times were electric.
Not even that.
You can't stop that, boys. You actually can't.
How clean were some of the pickups at ground level?
Like
no there was no fumbling. How many times have we been on this show and we talk about why do we fumble first use and why do we make it so hard for ourselves? I can't remember a passage of play where we made it hard for ourselves. It was clean. It was clinical. Whether it be stoppage, turnover, whatever it was, it across the board. Like we executed to perfection. That was perfect.
Continuity is massive.
Yeah. I think
continuity is huge.
Yeah.
I think with continuity, what it comes down to, and I spoke about cohesion and stability. We've obviously got the main bulk of our structures right down packed. Now we've sort of we've looked at a Sincotta, playing on a Tom Stewart, and mind you, what a game did he play as well on him. Obviously, especially a couple of goals. I think there's probably a host of players that we can discuss tonight.
We will, yeah.
There's a lot of players. I've got a list. I reckon I've got 8 players that I want to speak about. Like you go, I don't know how we're going to fill an hour. We're going to fill an hour. We can probably fill that
easily. We could go for 3 hours if we want to go for 3 hours.
Of course,
So yeah, I just think in terms of the ability of Voss to be, and I think we spoke about it last week or the week before, his ability to adapt, especially in the last 4, 5, 8 weeks on the fly to do a range of different things, like play Sincotta there, like play Williams, up forward, even to have the confidence to play Cowan, and the like. Obviously, props to him.
How was Williams?
Can I ask you a question?
Speaking of Williams, quickly, just one moment that popped into my head. How was that kick inside 50?
Oh, it was a joke.
Yeah.
He didn't leave 4 foot off the ground. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That was genuine porn.
Can I ask you a question? Do you reckon there's an element of Voss saying to his playing group, boys, we've gone through the hardest portion of our fixture now.
Oh, yeah, they know.
We now need to make and show the competition how good we are with not just beating teams, burying teams. Yeah. And starting with Geelong and a 60-point plus win is a statement I think that we're going to see for the rest of the home and away season leading into finals. Because our profile and what people perceived as of Carlton wasn't true because of our injuries, because of who we played. Yeah. But now I think you'll really see it.
Yeah. Post the bye last year, what do we have? 5 wins on the bounce.
Post bye.
50 plus?
It was,
Or was it one before the
I think it
bye?
was 4.
Yeah, it might have been
No,
4.
no, I think it was 4. It was Gold Coast, Freo,
Hawthorn?
and Port. It was 4 straight.
Okay. Well, 4
Or
straight.
50 plus, yeah.
Okay. I have no doubt.
We could do that again.
Probably not in a row,
Mm.
but the back course of the back half of the year, there will be 4 blowouts.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah, they
easy.
will. We'll lose a game as well. Like
we'll drop one.
naturally
Yeah.
will lose a
We'll
game,
drop one.
but it's
Yeah.
going to be very hard if we can front that up every single week. It's going to be very hard to beat us.
Yeah. Just for me, I don't know about you boys, but I watched both presses this week. I watched obviously Voss's,
Yep.
and then I watched Scott's. Now I know Paysan, you're speaking about the draw that we had.
Yeah.
Now he was asked a question about why is Geelong facing, because I think they're 1-6 currently. And mind you, Scott's presser, I think said it in the group chat. His presser went for 17 minutes or 18 minutes this week. That's unheard of.
He seems shocked.
Yeah, I'm telling you now, he was full of praise of us, to be honest with you. Now, one of the things that he did mention was that they're probably in a similar boat in terms of what we were, in terms of having that run in the last 6 to 7, 8 weeks. They've probably played, they've had a hard draw because he was trying to, not speculate, but he was trying to obviously give the reporters a response, and he was trying to be as honest as he was trying to be, and that was what he was stating. But in saying that, he looked very shocked. And he was. I felt like as if he was rattled.
When was the last time you saw that happen to Geelong?
Yeah. So this was word by word in terms of actually what he said. So he said that was as good as a team that we've played against for a very long time. Now, I don't know in terms of long time duration, but for me, a long time is 2, 3, 4, 5 years.
Easily.
5 years.
I can't remember the last time that happened to Geelong. I watch Geelong every week and they're consistent. And even if they lose, they're always gallant in defeat.
I'd like to see their I'd love to see the highest points that they've lost by in the last 5, 10, 15 years.
Yeah, that'd be up there. I reckon that'd be right up there.
It'd be in the top 5.
Yeah.
We've spoken about the game a bit. Voss, and I know we're talking about the pressure a little bit here, but he did say that there's more that he wants to add, or there's more that he can add come finals. He mentioned that towards the end, and it cut out. But he mentioned that towards the end of the presser. What do you boys see that being?
I reckon I know what it is.
No, honestly, because he did say that. He goes, there's certain personnel and there's certain things that we can still add, because not that he didn't seem satisfied, because he definitely was, and you have to be. But he did allude to the fact that there was something that we need to add come finals. For finals, he's not looking at the home and away season. Home and away season.
I know what it is, and it's not going to make people happy.
I don't think it's that.
I reckon it is. I honestly think he's talking about, because it's been alluded to already so many times in press conferences and whatever by him and by Cripps individually. I think they're talking about a 2-ruck system that is more cohesive than what we saw in the first half of the year. That has the ability to batter teams at centre bounce and at stoppage, but also has the ability to fucking move the ball quick on turnover with the personnel that we've got back in now. That's genuinely what I think they're talking about. This is as balanced as we've been, but if we can somehow work out how we can make Pitto and TDK work and make sure that at stoppage we don't lose, or we're very hard to beat from that perspective. And I'll tell you why. Sydney's midfield is a joke. They are a joke. They have so many weapons in the middle and at stoppage that they can just explode and they can kick goals very, very quickly. I think the club, and if it was, I'm not going to say what they're looking at. For me personally, if I look at Sydney as the other contender right now, and we're going to play them in a final series, we're going to make sure our midfield and our stoppage game is fucking humming. Turnover, yep, absolutely agree. Needs to be there, needs to be balanced, but that's the way that Sydney gets beat, is if you beat them at the source. Right now, with 1 ruck, can we do it? Maybe, against the lesser sides. Against the better side, probably not.
You've got to look at it that Sydney is who we're thinking to face.
Absolutely.
You've got it. Realistically,
it'll
be us and Sydney in the grand final as it stands.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Yeah, currently, obviously, depending on how the top 4 falls, to be honest. I think we'll probably play in for sure, whether it's week 1 or a prelim or the final. But yeah, we're definitely going to play them.
We're on a collision course.
Yeah.
At some point.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You answer that question, because I get what you're saying. Mine's sort of with that, but I wanted to ask you a few other things, but go.
I think Chera will come in. I think that's without no question. Whether that's like Kennedy's still playing, I reckon he'll go to the sub. To be honest with you, but I think it's greater X factor in it. I think Motlop will probably come in I think Cottrell will come in for a Fantasia. I think that's potentially going to happen. And mind you, I think Fantasia had a pretty good game on Friday night, especially with his foot skills.
He was much better.
He's very good
with his foot skills. I think he had a fair few assists. I think he had at least 3.
I think it's three direct goals.
Yeah, I think 3 direct goal assists and probably a number of score involvements with very little touches. So I think he had a reasonable game with the opportunities that he did have. But I think it's going to be an X factor inside the forward 50 with the small, and I think that's Motlop, because I think every grand final side has one, and I don't think that we have one in our side currently playing.
That can
light up a game. They can break up a game. I know Always is doing very well, and I'm not saying he will get dropped for a Motlop.
I don't think he can.
I don't think
we'll talk about him in a minute after we get your.
Yeah, I don't think he can. But I think that's what it is, because I think our talls are what Mackay is going to bring. You know what a Charlie is going to bring. And our smalls, they read the game well. With an Always, Fogarty's going to obviously bring that into that pressure, but I just don't know if anyone has that X factor that a Motlop does have. And I think he's the one, once he's fit and firing, I reckon he's the one that's going to come.
How'd he go in the twos?
Not sure.
I'm not sure. I know last week
it could be a Jack Martin too.
It could be a Jack Martin, but that's the type of player that I'm thinking will come in to include. One of those types of players that that they're match winners. That's what I think. Yeah, we don't have one.
What's yours?
Mine is similar to, or not exactly, but my thing is we played a Geelong. I just thought about this question because we played a Geelong midfield that was quite, in my eyes, depleted, or not depleted. They're weak.
They're very weak, and especially without a ruckman. All right, TDK was able to do what he wanted against his brother. He literally bullied him. He literally bullied his brother. It was schoolyard stuff.
He threw a ball at him. Yeah. If that's not bullying, and you know what, that actually hits different than what the pushing and the shoving.
Oh yeah, that's why you got fired up at half time.
That's telling you stay in your spot, little brother. Yeah. So my question is, when you've got a midfield that we can face, or an opposition midfield with pace, how do we deal with that? Yeah. And at this point in time, Tom rucking on his own or bringing in Pitto, I don't know either or if that is the answer. Okay, but we've got to be able to deal with the midfield with pace. Yeah, because I don't think we can at the moment, personally.
And I don't think adding Pitto helps that.
Well, like I said,
because they get away.
We don't know.
TDK can
because you've got Cripper. Yeah. You've got Cripper that can't deal with that pace. Realistically,
it's going to be interesting.
So that's my question, and then the other one was
I got an answer.
Someone like Cowan. All right, it's still a long season. Are you looking at bringing in, and continuity is massive, we know this, but maybe Cowan's killing it at the moment,
Can't drop him.
But are you looking at someone like a Marchbank?
I think that's matchup dependent.
But do you understand what I'm saying? To get towards finals, or to get towards what we do, and then does that change our profile then?
So I don't know. With a
these are things that I'm thinking about.
So with players like Marchbank, Martin, Cunners, even Chera for me at this point, just with the amount of injury he's had this year, and a Motlop, which has been evident. So those 5, if I name those 5, that were, I think, for all of us at the start of the year, would have been a walk-up start in the 22. Cunners, Marchie.
Well, Marchbank based on his finals.
Maybe not Cunners. Well,
Marchbank based off finals last year.
Yeah. The other 3 or 4, probably a walk-up start. And Cunners is right on the cusp, really, right at the start of the year. Right now, I think they need to put a real big block of work in, considering our form, to instill some trust that once they're out there again, we can get continuity out of you. Not just for a game or 2. We're talking like a block of 6 weeks.
Marchbank's his body, not his ability.
Yeah, correct.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That's the difference.
But it's the same for all of them, really. Like, we know what they're all capable of.
Of course.
Right. They're just breaking down, unfortunately. So at this point, with how well we're playing, we are humming. Like, you don't touch this formula at the moment.
But you only get it. You only get the consistency because the players are on the park and staying on the park. So then they're able to, get belief within each other.
Said that's the point.
You bring those players back, and then all of a sudden,
correct,
you lose that continuity.
But that's my point exactly. Because if you bring them back and then, God forbid, they re-injure themselves again, you've completely disrupted your flow and your momentum. For what? Just to bring in someone that might be more talented than Cowan, for instance, or someone that might you got to give Cowan a chop out because it's a long season. He's young.
Sometimes it's I don't, like you mentioned. I'm not saying that it's wrong, but I think Marchbank is probably one of our most talented defenders. He's on talent. He would be in our best back.
Like a fit Marchbank. But like, I know this is a hypothetical, but a fully fit and firing Marchbank, you're playing him in your best 22.
Yeah, but the thing is though. Yes. Yeah, you can't.
You say the same with Martin. You could say the same with Motlop. You could say the same with.
But he's playing in the twos now. Marchbank's playing in the twos now.
Yeah. These are our best 22 players on a piece of paper.
Of course.
But
now, our best 22.
They're not. They're not in our best 22.
It doesn't matter. You're playing it right.
Based on form, and over the last, I don't know how many weeks it's been, they're not. And they're nowhere near it.
Yeah.
But going to your point in terms
about the pace in the middle,
I think they've had a certain player, and he's done lockdown roles, obviously in the in our forward half and on ball. I reckon it's Sincotta. I reckon he'll come in against the City, and I reckon he'll play on ball, and that's your speed. That's your speed. It's not in a forward sense, but it'll prevent them from moving the ball like they do.
Yeah, and we saw that against for the likes of Gold Coast, for instance, when he went to Took Miller.
You add.
Do you do what Collingwood sort of did to us, and do you flood it? Do you flood the stoppage?
Yeah, well.
Do you look at doing something like that where you might get an extra man in the stoppage so they can't get out?
It worked against us.
That's what I'm saying.
They killed us.
That's what I'm saying. So do you look at maybe doing that? Because we can't match, and I know we're talking in advance.
We're talking about finals.
But seriously, you can't match an Errol Goulden, a Warner.
I'm more worried. I'm not so much worried against Sydney. I reckon we had a very bad game. I reckon it's stoppage not around the ground that I'm worried about. I'm actually worried about center clearances against them because that's when you have the space around.
You're going to get exposed.
And you can get exposed. But that's where Sincotta, almost every center clearance,
he's on their best midfielder.
TDK, you're rucking because he has the potential to get
second efforts.
And get around.
It's a good discussion, and as the season rolls on, we're just going to see what the evolution of that looks like. It's we might see something new next week.
Just a question I thought, because that stuck in my mind with the presser. No, I thought it's very interesting of what would you think he's thinking.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk players. I've got one straight off the top, if you don't mind. We don't talk about this bloke enough. He's someone that everyone, for whatever reason, across his career, has been looked at as the one that you drop if someone more talented is available in that forward line. Matt Owies. Yeah, he is our best small forward.
Yep.
And not by talent. I'm sure Motlop is, the likes of a Motlop or a Martin, you could argue, are way more talented than Matt Owies naturally. Corey Durden probably got a higher ceiling, but he hasn't shown enough. Matt Owies is our best small forward because he produces every single week. He's got ticker. He's consistent. The output you're going to get from him. And the game against Geelong on Friday, if that doesn't stamp his authority as our number one small forward for the rest of the season, as long as he keeps up the same effort and intent that he does each week, I don't know what more he's got to do.
You need players
he's kicked
that are
21 or 22 goals this year. He's our third highest goal kicker again on the back of last year. It still baffles me that we dropped him for the prelim. Don't even get me started on that. But this is the second year straight that he's kicked 20 plus already. Third highest on our goal kicking. He is as consistent a player as we've got on our list. Personally, and he deserves a lot more credit and love than what he gets.
I agree with that. I'm a big fan of him. I just think that if you're scoring goals, you're doing your job. And as long as you're doing your job, you stay in the side.
Yeah.
It's literally as simple as that.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the stats. I don't know if they've been
He had 5 tackles as well.
But he's also a marking target. This is the other thing that there's not many small forwards you can find that can actually hold their own one-on-one on a lead or inside forward 50 as a marking target. He does it like every other week. He provides as like a one-on-one or on a lead.
Joe, it's the moments that he kicks those goals. It's when we need that goal. He can stand up to that. He can. He arises to the moment, and that's crucial.
Yeah, he's kicked 20 goals this year. I don't know if this has been updated. I assume it has.
I think it's 20. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so he's kicked 20. But I just counted in terms of small forwards and medium forwards in the comp from the top. He's around 10th.
Yeah, so he's a top 10.
There you go.
He's top 10 goal kicker for small forwards.
Small, medium forwards.
For someone that people are in discussions with that they might drop him.
Well, it's not that they might drop him, but he's always the first name that comes up when you go, oh, Motlop's got to come in. Who comes out as a small forward? He can't be. He's top of the pecking order.
Well,
right now, he's at the very top of the pecking order for small forwards.
Well, I had this discussion with our mate, Josh Martinago. Josh, if you're watching, he it might have been 6 months ago, said to me, Corey Durden is the one before Owies. And I just kept saying, you can't drop someone that's consistent as Owies with his goal kicking.
No.
And it's evident.
Yeah.
So, kick 3 goals on the weekend, you're not going anywhere. Plain and simple.
He's actually the only one I really wanted to talk. Let's not talk about anyone in our votes. Let's leave that for the votes. So if you've got like a DeConning, who we're going to obviously talk about at length, and a Cripps, leave that. But if there's anyone else from Friday's game that stood out,
Kennedy.
Who?
Kennedy.
yeah, absolutely.
31.
You just said he's going to be the sub, though, to be fair.
Sorry?
Did you not?
Yeah, you said you wanted him sub.
But this is
if
a question.
There's any player that's going to come out of that midfield in terms of centre clearance and get the right balance, he's the one that's going to come out. You're not going to take Cripps out or Walsh or Hewitt, are you?
This is the same discussion.
Balance.
But this is the same discussion I just had with Owies. Yeah? Why is he the first one looked at? He has been too consistent to drop. You can't. Even if Chera's fit, you can't drop him.
I agree. And I'm not saying it's going to
drop
happen.
Fantasia,
I'm not going to, because I think the balance is off.
Balance out,
yeah. If there's anyone that's going to come out, it is a Kennedy. You're not going to take any other than the players that's a 10 center stoppage. He's the one that's going to come out. Whether it's based off form, injury, or personnel, and they just think Chera is a better player to play, that's the player that's going to count. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I think Chera will play. Who comes out? I'm not sure. I think Kennedy is the one to make way. Just if it does eventuate, purely because of balance. And I reckon Kennedy for flexibility.
What do you want to say about him for the game?
Talk about him on Friday.
I just think Kennedy's game on the weekend was very good. And I would arguably say it's probably one of his best, if not the best that he's had for the
it's the best for a while. Yeah, it's his best for a while.
Yeah.
He stood out. He actually stood out in midfield that dominated, which is
yeah. I think we're speaking about Cripps and Walsh, and I reckon they had unbelievable games. And obviously they're probably in all our votes. Yeah, but I just think Kennedy in their midfield had an unbelievable game as well.
Can I bring up a player?
Go.
Nick Newman.
Yeah, very good.
I want to talk about Nick Newman. Now, we talk about leadership, and from what I've seen, not just for this game, for previous games, not just what he does with the footy and his ball use and his impact that way, but his actual ability to lead in that back six for me is
phenomenal.
Invaluable.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
Yeah. Got a goal, boys,
Mm-hmm.
For his efforts, which I think is well deserved. But I think he's the guy that we all value him, obviously, but I think he goes under the radar because you do have your Walshes, you do have your Charlies. I think he's someone that you just bypass, but it's someone that always exceeds expectation on what he performs.
Yeah, he did have a rough patch. Or not a rough patch, but he was probably a little bit down compared to his lofty standards towards the end of the back half of last year, at least. And obviously he's come leap and bounds, obviously, in the last 4 or 5 weeks.
But with him and Sard, them two, they get us going. They're the guys that get us going out of the back half.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I think another player as well, and I wasn't sure whether he was going to play on him, but I thought in terms of like for like, in terms of like body,
this is a good one.
Yeah, what their body has in terms of the pace and closing down speed, and his leap. McGovern on a Cameron. I think
did a great job.
I think obviously it sort of shifts us from his ability to intercept, but then you got the likes of your Newmans, your Kemps that can obviously do that. And I think Gov's lockdown role on a Cameron, I think the coaching staff had a great job there in terms of selecting that option. To be honest,
it was good selection. There was obviously talk throughout the week around who would go to him because he was the biggest threat. He's always been the biggest threat for Geelong against us, and it makes sense. Gov's got closing speed. He's athletic, and he went with him all night. And look, Cameron had a couple of looks, like in the third, especially coming out of halftime, late in the game. But other than that, he didn't really do much. He didn't look threatening at all.
Is it not refreshing in a way to see magnets and decisions like this being made by the coaching staff, by Voss and the assistants?
Oh yeah.
To be able to make these type of moves, opposition dependent.
Yeah, but
that's coaching.
Yeah,
that is coaching.
The thing is, well, when you're on a roll like this, especially with momentum, it becomes like a lot easier just to shift a couple of magnets.
Oh yeah, for sure.
When you've got but that's when you have a foundation.
Correct.
You have to create a foundation that you can then do that off.
Yeah.
Before I go with another player on Voss, just quickly, I thought about this today. So when we signed Voss, and even maybe a year or two into his tenure, especially halfway through last year, there was a knock on him that he wasn't tactically all there. Like he just that wasn't his strong suit, and he was more a leader. I look around the league, and there's a lot of very, very good tacticians as head coaches. Alistair Clarkson's a mastermind, doing fuck all with North, absolutely nothing. At Hawthorn, Sam Mitchell, you know what? He's doing what he can with that list, and he's probably outside of the really top echelon of coaches. He's probably one that I look at and go, yeah, right, you're probably the next tactically, sound coach that I'd have on my list.
I don't think Alistair Clarkson's doing nothing with North.
Well,
to be honest,
they haven't done much.
I just think their list.
Sorry,
I think they're back. I think they're.
Let me get
dog shit.
Let me get to my point. I'm sure he'll do. I'm sure he'll take them somewhere eventually. It's just going to take a long time. But it doesn't take. My point with Clarkson, for instance, is it doesn't just take a good tactically sound coach to get a team humming. It doesn't.
Yeah,
it takes someone that can galvanize a group and can lead a group from a position of belief and instilling belief that you can do what we're telling you can do, and you can reach the potential and the heights that we know you can. For me, there's no other coach in the league that has instilled more belief in a football club than Michael Voss over the last 3 years. There's not, because he literally has dragged us off the canvas.
Yeah,
off the canvas.
I think
from where we were a year ago. No. From where we were.
I got another one.
Yeah,
I don't want to mention the club.
I don't want to mention the club either, but there's one other coach.
McRae's fantastic. Yes, he is. That's no problem. But for me, McRae didn't take over a team that had been kicked while they were down for the last fucking 15 years. Yeah. He didn't take over a group that had never, ever known what success was. He had premiership plays in that side. He had a Pendlebury. He had a side bottom that could help him lead. Voss had no one that had been there and done it. And not only that, got us, like, we were at a point where we were at our absolute lowest, dragged him off the canvas and said, no, not only are we going to come out of this, but over the next 27 weeks, we're only going to lose a total of 5 fucking games.
Yeah, for me,
there's no other coach that has instilled more belief in a list, not in a football club, but in a list that he took over.
Yeah, for me, it's not just Voss, because I reckon Voss has his talents and his skill set. I don't think it's just Voss. The whole coaching department, obviously, they all have their say. Now, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying Voss is inept in terms of his tactical ability. Obviously, he has some form of understanding about structures that his side wants, because obviously it probably starts from him.
For his brand, the brand of football
he wants, and what he thinks in terms of the list has. For sure, it starts from him. But I have no doubt that the other assistant coaches,
Ash Hansen, Aaron Hamill, they're all all phenomenal.
They all have their different skill sets, and obviously all coming together is obviously what we're saying currently.
No, of course, and it does. It takes a whole coaching group to get the best out of your list. But
Voss is the one that's obviously just keeping everyone aligned.
Of course,
that's his job.
But the reason that you look to the head coach, and why I'm looking to the head coach, is because when it gets bad, you don't look to an assistant coach to go, he's got to go. Everyone looks at the head coach and goes, well, he's the problem. See you later. And they did it with Voss last year. They did halfway through the year. So by the same token, flip side of the coin, when it's humming like this, he's the one you look to. And you go, you know what? You're the head of the snake. And right now, snake is ready to kill.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like we are every single week, we're looking to kill teams, not just go out there and be competitive. We're now hunting like I've never, ever seen. That takes a leader to make sure that the group has that belief that they can do it week in, week out, especially towards the back end of the season. Yeah. Anyway.
I've got another player.
Yep.
E. Hollins. I don't think it was one of his better games.
Nah, but he's just silk.
But yeah, he's just silk. The way he moves and his ability to connect with other players, as well as get into those sort of half spaces to make sure he's in a position to defend or create the turnover, as well as try to get the ball to obviously counter attack and slingshot the other way. I just think he's a very smart footballer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he's very good. He's been a great pickup.
Is Chincotta in anyone's votes?
No, I was close.
Because we need to talk about his role. Because he had the role on Tom Stewart. And we were talking about this actually yesterday, where he didn't just lock down Stewart. He actually was able to be he was actually able to get on the offensive and
he instigated a lot.
He did. He hit the scoreboard twice
as well. Yeah.
So not only have you been effective,
he did that last week too.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Against Essendon, sorry.
He's actually not doing your traditional like tagging role because he's damaging on the scoreboard with teams, and that's not something that a lot of players can do.
Yeah, a tag is traditionally a midfielder, right? But we've seen him do it on forwards now.
He's played on. He's done it on like 6 All Australians.
He's done it across the whole. No, but he's done it across the whole field.
Yeah,
Bobby Hill, Cozzy Pickett, one of them is a Norm Smith medalist and kept him quiet. Then he goes into the midfield. Took Miller has 0 impact. Zach Butters 0 impact. Zach Merritt 0 impact. And then Voss goes to him. All right, bit of a different role this week. You're going to play half forward all game, and we just want you to shut down Tom Stewart however you can. There was a play at Matt Owi's first goal. Ball came inside 50. I think it was from Walsh. It was landed on Stewart's head. And it's something that you see if you watch Geelong every single week. He just knows how to position himself because he knows where the inside 50 is coming. He knows how to intercept. Chincotta did not give a fuck about the ball. He didn't care about trying to outmark him. All he wanted to do was affect Stewart to a point where he could get the ball to ground. Did. Job was done. Owi's crumb. Goal. For me, that's as selfless a footballer as we've got on our list. It's just selfless because he's not going to, other than kicking goals at the moment, he's not going to show up on the stat sheet every week. He's just not. He's not. But his role is like so important.
But what I'm saying about his role is it's not your Winhager role or Winhager role.
No.
Where it's just lock down the player and that's it. You get a couple.
He's going the other way.
He's going the other way. And it's massive. So he needed definitely a special mention there.
Agree. One other one, last one I want to talk about and mention that's not in the votes is Harry this week. Not one snap at the set shot against Geelong, and one of them was from a very, very tight angle in the pocket that he just slotted. And he never even doubted himself. Went straight back for the drop punt and went, oh no, this little chip, 9-9, straight through. Yeah, I think what we've obviously spoken about him at length on the podcast this year, but what he's been able to do mentally over the past 12 months to get, well, not even 12 months really, it's over the last 6 months, to get his mental right and elevate his game again to the level that we know that he was capable of is unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, obviously his goal kicking was
it was the only facet that he needed to get right.
Yeah, it was definitely. Really? But even last year, I think he kicked 30 odd. He missed like 5 games. He probably would have kicked 50. You know what I mean? So it's still a reasonable season last year. This year, he's actually 5th in the Coleman.
Yeah, that's right.
He's kicked 30.
5th in the Coleman.
Yeah, he's kicked 30.
Yeah.
In a secondary role.
Yeah.
He's probably going to finish with 50 or 60 and Charlie finished with 70, 80 or whatever it is. But
yeah,
it's just, I know it was only one facet of his game that was missing, but it is still important. It really is. It's an important part of a centre-half forward's game is to make sure you get scoreboard.
Because he's probably, obviously having Charlie and Harry there, he's probably going to get less of the chances compared to.
Of course.
So the fact that he's actually, with his opportunities that he does get, converting, is obviously going to be more highly beneficial for the team.
John in the chat asks, is Jules wearing a sleeping bag tonight? All right, let's get to the votes. This is the first time that none of us have agreed on a BOG, by the way, for this year.
Oh,
yeah, we've got three different BOGs. So
who'd you go?
Yeah, I was surprised at Dan's votes, actually, to be fair. I can't believe you didn't have Cripps in your votes. But anyway, you start. Go,
Not
man.
in them.
No.
Go. I had him as best on.
I'll tell you why you needed him in there.
Anyway,
Go.
Go, Pom. Pom.
Charlie won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Charlie won.
Yeah.
Kick 5. I'm
Yeah.
actually shocked that I was giving 1 to a bloke that kick 5.
Yeah, I know. It's
is the
unfair
thing.
on Charlie.
This is the
'cause
thing. I'm giving 1
he's
to a
probably
bloke that
2
kick
votes
5.
every week,
But
yeah.
all right. But there was players before him. Then I've gone. With Charlie, he's going to win another Coleman. It's a given.
Yeah.
I think. Like,
Well, Ben King's injured. So
he didn't play. He didn't play.
the next
today.
best after that, I think, is Jesse Hogan. He was on 33 goals up until yesterday.
Yeah.
So there's like
Yeah.
a 12
I
goal
just think the back end of the season with the teams that we have, there's going to be more bags of 5.
Oh, yeah, more.
Mm.
Yeah, more than 5. We're
No,
talking
but
8s
yeah.
and 9s.
Yeah.
You'll see it.
Yeah.
You'll see it.
TDK for 2. I think we knew he was going to have a dominant game pretty much from the get-go, didn't we? Against Sam.
Licked his lips at the first centre bounce.
Oh, you could see that he was ready.
I reckon he looked over at the warm-up and saw Sam in the midfield group in the ruck,
And he knew.
and he knew.
I had to look twice. You know, I had to look twice. I actually was shocked to go, is that actually Sam rucking?
I pointed it out to Joe
George
in the warm-up,
spotted it
and
in the
I'm just like,
warm-up, yeah.
I'm like, where? Because I was looking at obviously the groups. You know how they're
Yeah.
all together. Sam's not in defense because I'm thinking who is going to ruck for them? I thought it was going to be Blixarves majority of the time, and maybe Hawkins inside forward 50. You know how they usually do that split. Didn't happen.
That's right. With TDK,
He had him for 2.
I had him for 2. You're not just looking at his ability to win the hit out, for example. It's actually his ability to his second efforts from a tackling perspective. His pressure on the opposition. I don't think there's another ruckman that does it.
No, not
like him.
Not like him.
like him,
Maybe
Not
Grundy.
someone that-
Grundy's follow-up works.
Yeah, it's
pretty
good.
at
Not
the moment.
but not like
someone
him.
that throws his
No.
body around like this guy.
Yeah, no, he's like a bull.
He's a bull.
He's like a bull. At
He
the
had
moment.
something like 20 contested possessions.
Yeah.
Was it 20?
It's 20.
Yeah.
Of his 25.
20.
Fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For
20
a
of his
ruckman.
25 were
Ridiculous.
contested. For me, that's the value that you get from TDK.
Yeah.
Yeah, he kicked his goal. He had that opportunity where it was around the body,
Over his shoulder.
over his shoulder. Was it over his shoulder?
Yeah,
And it just got tapped on the line.
Yeah. Nah,
From the
it drifted.
boundary. No,
What,
it's from the
roughly?
boundary.
No, yeah, it was close to the boundary. You're not
What?
thinking about the right same
No,
one.
you're
It must have
talking
been.
from where we were, sitting.
It was like a snap.
Oh,
The
yeah,
snap. It was like a
yeah,
snap.
yeah,
Joke, man.
Oh, yeah, no,
Yeah,
that was
a
ridiculous.
joke.
It was a
Yeah,
snap.
yeah, yeah,
The way
I know
even,
what you're
but it was the way he even got in that position to be able to do that.
Fuck,
That's
I
the
forgot
things
about
that-
that one. Yeah, that was ridiculous. Yeah.
Talk about play-
That'd be goal in the season.
It would have been
If he
a
kicked
goal.
it, yeah.
Yeah.
If he kicked it, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the moments like that with this guy that you think, where's your ceiling?
Yeah.
I think about that now. When with watching this guy, you think, what is your ceiling? So I've given him 2, and I've given Walshy 3. And you guys are shocked by that. I don't care about your stats. This guy here and that goal that he kicked, personally,
Yeah.
was well deserved of a guy that absolutely dominated the game.
It was.
The reason why I didn't put Cripps in there was because personally, the amount of times that he did lofted handballs to trouble killed us at times.
Okay.
I don't think there was many of them, but
No, there was.
There was 2 or 3.
No,
I'll pay that, I'll pay
I'm
that.
actually
I'll
not.
pay
I'm
that.
being
41.
Yeah.
All right,
no,
hey,
but seriously,
so
that is why. Because honestly, I don't care about the disposals. Personally, sometimes the way he uses the footy, put us into trouble.
Can I just say one thing about Walsh? Because he's not in my votes. But
Yeah.
the way that he was moving on Friday night
burst.
through traffic and out of stoppage was like something
But
I
this is
haven't
what I'm
seen.
saying.
Like I haven't seen that sort of movement and like agility from Walsh for a long, long time.
This-
He might be on the cusp of really fucking taking this season by the horns.
Yeah, last week
Yeah.
I said to you guys what we
think he is.
needed.
Nah, I'm telling you, I reckon if we look at the Brownlow medal counts come the end of the season, what I actually think will happen, I reckon Cripps will obviously dominate first half of the year. I reckon it's Walsh.
Yeah, Walsh
That's going to go
in the
on
back
now.
half. I think
Yeah.
he's about to do something
Yeah.
silly.
Like what he was doing out the middle was
Yeah.
a joke.
No, it's crazy.
And last week, I actually said to you both, we needed him in a more advanced position coming out of the clearance, and that's what he was doing.
For me, Walsh for one. I mean, you've already spoken about him, boys, so I don't want to go into greater detail.
Let
I've
me
got-
talk about Cripper because I got him for 3. You go talk about 10K.
Yeah, but I got something. Actually, you know what? You speak about Cripps. If you don't mention it, then I'll mention it. I got Cripps for 2, obvious reasons. TDK 3. Boys, he had the highest rated player in the whole comp on the weekend.
Highest rated game for any
Yeah.
player this season.
This season.
No,
No,
TDK.
TDK.
TDK, yeah.
Yeah, that's why he's my 3.
Yeah.
It can't not be.
I won't say it. I won't go there.
You can say all you want. Oh, it's against Sam. You can, boys.
No,
you
no,
can,
I'm not,
No, I'm not saying
that's
that.
all I was
No,
gonna
I'm
say.
not saying that.
You can say that.
I'm not saying that.
Piero was our second highest rated player for most of the season before he's injured. That's all right.
But I don't think the team was performing like this, boys. So
No, they were. It's fair. I understand the 3 votes. For me, I gave Charlie 1 for the same reasons you did, Dan. Kicking 5, you got to be in the votes. I gave Tom 2 because of what you just said. Yes, he dominated. He was everywhere. And to be fair, all right, he probably was our best player on the ground, but he came up against no one. Like, he did what he should have done, really.
if Charlie kicked 10 and played on against West Coast, he wouldn't have gotten the 3.
No, I'm sure we all did give him the 3, but
Definitely.
I feel like kicking 10 is a lot harder as a regardless of who you're playing against, because it's still dependent on your delivery, like what you're getting coming inside 50. You still got to make, like, you're not making that happen. You're waiting for it to come to you. Whereas with Tom, it was there for him. Like, it was all there for him to have the best night of his career ever, because he came up against no one, and he came up against a midfield that was weak as well. Like I said, still our best player on the ground by a mile. But when it comes to the voting, I had to give it to Cripps. I had to give 3. Like, I'm sorry, this game was a fucking joke. I don't know how you didn't have him in your votes, Bob. This was ridiculous. First off, broke a club record. He's got the most handballs in our club's history now with 3,110 at the age of 29. So that's just going to keep going. He had 41. 27 of those were handballs. He laid 5 tackles, had 18 contested possessions, only had 7 turnovers in those 41. So you can say what you want about your fucking loopy handballs.
7 anyway, go.
He had 8 score involvements in all of that. 14 clearances. And he went into the ruck. I reckon he went into the ruck. He had 4 hitouts, but I reckon he went into the ruck about 10 times and affected the ruck as well around the ground too. So not only
clearances against the midfield that's shit. It's the same argument.
but you've still got.
Exactly
but you've
right.
still.
Hey,
nah,
is that right?
It's 100%.
No, hold on.
Hold on. Can you actually?
Hold on.
You're going to hammer him.
I didn't say
You're
that.
going to hammer me.
No, they're not shit. Hold on.
I'll tell you what about Cripps. I'll tell you
Hold on.
what.
Excuse me.
It's the same thing. But
It is.
anyway,
Oh,
I'll
okay.
Thank you.
But listen,
Thank you.
Having no. Hold on.
The most-
No. Having
I'm
no.
not saying he had a bad game.
Having no genuine ruck, they didn't have a ruckman, is not the same as coming up against weak midfielders. It's not the same.
it's the same. He was able to get first use.
Of course
Anyway,
it was.
Listen to this. The most impressive thing about
That's fucking
Cripps'
ridiculous.
game,
That's actually ridiculous.
it's not.
It is. That's ridiculous.
It's not. Anyway, the most impressive thing about Cripps' game is he had 0 marks, boys.
Around the ground.
0 marks.
Yeah.
0 marks.
It was all ground
So
level.
have a think about that. He was in a number, getting the scraps, dishing the ball out.
Yeah.
Picture the amount of times he actually did that.
He actually went
So
to
he-
17 ruck contests.
So he actually didn't even like get around the ground to get like cheap possessions.
His little kicks.
Yeah, no,
Every
it was-
41 possessions was earned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the most impressive part of his
for me.
game.
It's a ridiculous game, but apparently not for Dan.
No,
Yeah,
I got high
You can
standards.
get 41 whenever you want.
Tom Mitchell did. Tom Mitchell used to get 50 and everyone goes, oh, handballs.
And he won a Brownlow.
Doesn't matter.
What do you mean doesn't matter? He won a Brownlow. He got 3 vote games for doing that.
Ineffective.
Fucking idiot.
Ineffective.
Votes leaderboard.
40 handballs.
Votes leaderboard. There's 6 in our top 5. Charlie Kerno and Nick Newman tied in 5th on 14 votes. Sam Walsh in 4th on 29. Harry Mackay sits in 3rd on 31 votes. Tom has made his way to 2nd with 34 votes, and Cripper out in the lead on 66 votes, almost double the next best. But again, 41 touches is easy. Livy.
Hey everybody, it's Livy with Livy's Last Words, and this is what I thought about the game. Absolutely amazing. So good. We won by 63 points. Mate, Geelong are shit. Bro, Patrick Cripps, mate, unbelievable game from him. Walsh, deconing, mate. My mind was shocked. I thought, we're going to come in, close game, going to be pretty hard, but, mate, we absolutely smashed it. In the first quarter, we smashed it. Second quarter, we smashed it. Third and fourth quarter, especially in the fourth quarter, mate, we're so good. We have just been playing some amazing football. I'm absolutely so proud. Kerno kicking 5 goals. Cowan kicking his first goal, which was an absolutely ripper. To see Tom and Sam going against each other, that was definitely very enjoyable to watch. The whole game, we just played absolutely amazing. Our ball use was amazing. Our contests in the middle of the ground was amazing. You know, Sam and Patrick Cripps, mate. Patrick Cripps, 41 disposals. Sam Walsh, 33, mate. They are on fire. Tom DeConing in his best form right now. Mate, this is absolutely amazing. I'm just so proud of the boys. You know, our defence were very good. I mean, there was a few points where Geelong got some easy marks, which wasn't very great. I reckon our pressure was amazing, our tackling, and in our forward line, we're just unstoppable. Unstoppable. You know, I reckon our forward line right now is the best, literal. But anyways, I think Chincotta had an amazing game. You know, Elijah Holland, I've been definitely liking how he's been playing so far. But anyways, overall, this game, mate, absolutely amazing. Carlton, they are so good. Geelong, they choked. The retirement home choked. But anyways, next week we are versing Richmond. Definitely think we're going to win that one. Hopefully we can smash them. But anyways, this is what I thought about the game. Go the Blues!
Sorry, we didn't listen to Livy at all then because we were just in
We had a massive argument.
Genuine argument for the last 3 minutes.
What was it?
I listened to Livy today. This was one of her best ones. So both of you can apologise to her.
I've listened to it.
I'll always listen to it again anyway. The 3-2-1, what was most of the listeners saying?
Yeah, well, like I said to you, in the break, Jules, TDK were in... Well, actually, you know what?
Look,
TDK, Cripps.
3 for TDK, 2 for Charlie, 1 for Walsh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bloke, you can justify it how
Guy's
you
got
want.
Cripps first.
Patrick Cripps has 5 less disposals, and you're giving Walsh a vote instead of Cripps. I guarantee. Because
But he didn't.
because he had 14. Because he had 14.
But he
clearance.
didn't, Bob.
What?
But he didn't. He had
I know.
41.
But Walsh had more score involvements.
All
Why
right.
aren't you looking at that?
How's this? If Harry kicked 6 more goals, you'd be giving a vote to Harry.
You're downplaying Charlie's 5. You're downplaying Walsh's impact. You're an
Well,
idiot.
I had Charlie in mind.
Huh?
I had Charlie.
Jules
for a
didn't.
vote.
That was Jules.
Like that's twice he's just done it to me.
That was Jules.
Fucking hell. Let's move on. Anyway, you know what? From all of that, we can gauge is that it was a very well-rounded team performance.
Nah, shut up. It's bullshit.
No, that's
You
true.
try and embarrass me on the pod,
I
and then
didn't.
after the pod, Jules goes, yeah, he's got a point there. He actually had a great game. And then you're fucking just being quiet.
I don't know what
Couldn't defend himself.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And now all the listeners are putting 3-2-1, Charlie, Harry, Walsh, and not
No
Harry.
one put
Charlie-
for 3.
Charlie TDK.
No one. No,
they
there was one person.
they-
There was one person
They
that
put
agreed with
all the
me.
listeners here put TDK.
I can't see the screen, so
Shut
I
up,
can't
Dan.
comment.
Shut up. Yeah, it was
That's
one
why I
person.
asked.
That's enough. Let's move on. That was.
I'm so happy that
was-
one person did the same as me.
one person justifies Dan's votes more than ours, Jules. More than ours.
Show me the rest.
You're an idiot. We're moving on.
I reckon there's more you're not showing me.
Sunday, 3:20 MCG. Traditional time slot on a Sunday. It's actually, I'm looking forward to this one at the G. What are you looking at? Round 16.
Looking at people agreeing with me.
Carlton versus Richmond. Before we get into the preview, because we're going to start doing this now. Last time we met, don't have to think too far back. Round 1 this year. I don't remember much from that game. I just remember the end. Like it was a bit tense.
Yeah.
What did we win by? 5 points.
There's
or something?
5 points in the end.
And it shouldn't have been as close as what it was. But yeah, do you remember much from that night? Were we all there? Did we all go?
Yeah, of
we
course
did.
Yeah.
Remember much from that night? That game? I remember Jules talking about the
Jules, why are we
education.
doing
Jules.
this?
Oh, sorry, I'm trying to
Joe
build down a
like- Joe-
fucking run sheet.
Oh, okay.
All right, you know what? Go take the preview.
Go to the preview.
No, go.
I just remember not being overly impressed. You're talking about the opening game.
No,
of the
no,
season,
we're
yeah?
not talking about it anymore. Just go into the preview.
You don't have to get all salty.
No, go on.
See, this is another bit of feedback.
No, you know what? I remember. This is what I was.
I remember Jules
impressed
talking
with.
about the education system for 20
Well, yeah,
minutes.
with
Yeah,
me and
that
Jules.
was that,
That was
yeah.
me and Jules. I
That's why I
got
can't
him
remember.
wired.
What I was most impressed with in that game was our ability to move the ball, the transition. I remember going from D50 into inside
Yeah,
our
we had a couple of
450 very
chains.
well.
Yeah, I remember we had a couple of
Yeah,
chains.
very,
through
very
corridor.
smooth.
No, didn't we let them back in or something
We did.
at
but
one stage?
We did, yeah.
From
This
what I
was- this was
remember.
early on.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah.
They got a fair few injuries.
Dan
boys.
doesn't want to talk about it. So, Dan,
Well, I think it's
what
irrelevant.
are your thoughts on the upcoming game?
I think it's
Dan?
irrelevant. We're a very different side.
fuck's sake. It's just like reminiscing. That's all it is. Don't overthink it.
Okay.
Remember that time at band camp?
And none of us remember because it's so long ago. If you maybe give us a heads up and go, hey boys, why don't you go and look at the Richmond game?
2
when we
weeks
played
ago,
Richmond
yeah,
last
watch the
time.
mini game.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Maybe go do some research and look at the Richmond game when we played them last, because I'm going to ask this
It
question.
It didn't have to be anything. It didn't have to be in detail. It just needed to be like a
Yeah,
little.
but
Oh yeah, I remember.
You said you go.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dan
do
and
you
I
remember anything?
Dan and I like to be prepared though.
I was saying it wasn't a memorable game. It just wasn't. That's just fact. And if you remember 2 weeks ago when we did the preview for Essendon, I said, "Oh, maybe we'll start doing this." You both go, "Yeah, yeah, that'd be good."
No, it's because I did it.
Fuck off.
Boys, they got a few injuries. Grimes, TBA, back. Dion Presta, calf, test. Jack Ross, foot. Rioli, ankle.
Oh yeah, Richmond's
Gipkus
injury list
gone.
is ridiculous.
Yeah, they're
Hopper,
injury list is a
hammy,
joke.
test.
And they're already rubbish. So injuries like that kills you. Kills you.
Leg, Bolton, TBA.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna play.
No, they got a
Didn't
few.
play this week.
No.
Oh, they haven't
No,
played this
they're
week. But yeah, no, I don't think he's gonna play.
Marlon Pickett, calf, 2 weeks. Yeah. They got a few TBA.
We should smack him. We should spank him.
It's good preview, boys. Well done.
No, really, we should. Yes or no? Oh,
Mate, I'm telling you now, if it's not more than 50, I'd be shocked.
What?
Is it
No,
not?
I'm just. You tried to pump up. Our previews aren't that extravagant.
no
I was
no
actually-
shit.
you
This is why I
tried
tried
to-
to bring something in
I know,
to
but-
build it out a bit, and you hammer me.
Bloke, pre-warn us on the show.
I said it 2 weeks ago.
How can we elaborate on a topic that we don't know? It was 10 weeks ago.
It's a pretty boring topic too.
This might
It's a boring game.
I'm almost at my wit's end with this.
I was actually, do you know
I
what?
reckon this
Driving
might
it
be the
tonight,
last season we do.
driving it tonight, I was like, man, our previews are pretty bad.
We don't do any analysis of the opposition.
What's there to do?
Oh,
Who's in? Who's out? How much are we going to beat them by?
the
That's
preview
it.
was this preview was we're going to belt them.
At least I'm trying to give something.
I can say that as well. Of course we're going to
Do you-
belt them.
do
We're
you-
way better
do
than
you know-
Richmond. They're shit.
Yeah, do you know?
They're
I
shit. They're
feel
dog
like- I
shit.
feel like you've already done a preview today, and I felt like it was against Sydney.
Yeah, for the grand final.
Yeah, we did. We actually did.
Oh, now we're mates. Yeah, great.
All right. Well, fuck it then. We're not doing the preview. How much are we going to win by? Go.
68.
Yeah, Dan?
70.
Yeah, I'll say 80. All right. So let's just move into this because Dan just wanted to get to his fucking segment.
Keep calm. Count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 8, 9, 10.
Not happy, Jen!
Go on. And I'm not speaking tonight, apparently. Feedback. Go on.
So Jules took us out, which we explained at the start of the show, and we went to the escape room. How many minutes were we in? About 20? 20 minutes in? Yeah.
Yeah, more or less, yeah.
All of a sudden, we're doing it, and we're getting through. I think we're doing quite well at that stage. Pretty much going to complete it.
Clock it. Yeah, we're going to clock it.
We're going to clock it. Hey, put the mic back. That's better.
Go on.
Just warming
and
up.
we get a
I took the mic
Dun,
away because I
dun.
wanted to have a drink too. Go.
we got an alarm went off, boys.
Yeah, wait, we thought
It was
we
part
thought
of
it was part of the
the
game. We thought it was part of the game.
So we're still trying to do the clues, and there's a genuine alarm going off. Woman opens the door and goes, "Boys, you need to get out. The fire alarm's going off. You need to evacuate." We go down. We're waiting there. They're explaining that there could be an issue, maybe with the Maccas next door. It's fine. 5 minutes goes past.
10.
10, 15. Bloke comes over. He goes, "Yeah, sorry. Like, we're trying to turn the fire alarm off, but Maccas don't have their key.
And we don't have a key.
What about you?
No.
What about you? Oh, that's okay. Maccas don't have their key. We can't turn the fire alarm. A fire truck's coming.
The fire truck actually didn't even come.
No.
No, it didn't.
No,
I don't even
no.
know how they turned
They
it
end
up.
up working out how to turn
Why
it
are
It-
you speaking?
off. I'm gonna end this stream. I'll end it. I'll end it. I will. Did you bring beers this week? Did you bring anything after last week's feedback?
Oh, don't get on the
That's
feedback
all right.
there.
Go on.
Oh, okay. We'll see when I buy beers at the footy, and you go, "Don't buy any more beers, Dan."
What the fuck are you talking
You buy
about?
beers for everyone at the footy,
What
Dan.
are you talking
Yeah.
about?
Dan, don't do it, man. You got beers for like my dad and everyone. Just like, don't do the next couple.
I
Yeah,
am
okay.
so fucking done with this. I genuinely am. Can you finish your story?
Hey, this thing's been derailed.
Can you
this whole
finish?
podcast.
Can you finish your story?
Jules loving it.
Finish your story.
We spent way too much time together this
Finish
whole
your,
weekend.
we have. I'm sick of you.
I'm liking Jules. I don't care.
Finish your story.
So then, end of the story
I don't like
was
Jules because he bought you fucking dinner. Can just finish your story.
I don't know. I really don't know where to end. They actually just like let us back in. They
Nah,
gave us a
alright.
refund, so there's nothing bad
Did
about
they
it.
give the refund?
But-
No.
No, not a refund.
That's the part.
They didn't give the
That's the
refund.
part.
They didn't give us a
No, they
refund.
did. What they do?
No, not a refund.
Oh,
just
they
gave a
didn't.
percentage. They just gave a
They
percentage.
gave us.
Yeah.
They gave us
15
a percentage.
for next
But the
month.
dickhead, he goes to us, oh, yeah, look, when we get back inside, because you've been impacted by the alarm, we'll talk about like a free game or like a refund. Did you not say free
Yeah,
game or
Yeah,
refund?
it is that.
And we
It
go,
did.
beautiful. Like, that's good customer service. Where was it? Adventure rooms, man.
God, I just thought to read out one of these things.
Yeah, did you say who it was from?
Yep.
Who's it from?
Gab,
Yeah, from
She
my
goes-
partner.
I enjoy this Dan and Jules matchup against Joe.
It's fucking bullshit. It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, this
I'm
is
not
the
that-
Carlton
I'm actually-
podcast.
I'm
You know,
actually-
I was just waiting for one time for it to jump in.
Even though
and
he
then I was
spoke
gonna
about
pounce.
6 times prior, but that's all right. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just feeding you.
No, that's double standards from Jules. I'm used to that these days, so that's fine. Are we done? Tell me we're done.
Yeah, we're done.
Thank fuck. We'll see you all next week. I'm over it.
Go
Up the
Blues.
Maggers.